Hello, folks. It's Saturday, August 6th, and I'm here to spend a few minutes with you. I hope everyone is doing well. I have been rather busy with things, so I have some catching up to do, even with folks whose videos I try to catch. I haven't seen the latest Roger or other folks, so I'll try to catch up, folks. But I wanted to share with you the recent VCLT that I received. Very, very happy with it. Very appreciative. Thank you, folks who still endeavor to send me music and gifts. I do appreciate it very much. Even when I'm honest, I do appreciate the gift. So I received from Mike Oral Retentive. Thank you, Mike, for your kind words. Kind of a different VC present. It's vinyl, but I can't play it, which is fine. He sent me a clock, and the clock is made with a copy of Catch Bull at 4 by Cat Stevens. And I appreciate this. I actually needed to replace my kitchen clock, and here it is. I do appreciate this very much. I'll put it up today. I've been waiting to show it before I mounted it in the kitchen. Really appreciate it, Mike, very much. And I do check into your channel every now and then. I need to come in, check in a little more. I will try to, folks. I'll try to. The vinyl that I got from Prague Tommy, Edward Tommy. Thank you so much for sending this to me. He asked me if I had the new Radiohead on vinyl. I said no. He bought it and sent it to me. Black vinyl. Don't need the white vinyl. A Moon-Shaped Pool by Radiohead. I very much like this album. I love the artwork inside, the gatefold, beautiful inside. I love the dreamy feeling of most of this album. The strings, the music, it's got a kind of a hazy quality. Dreamy is the word that comes to me. Some songs are just gorgeous. I don't remember the titles. I think that what I would say about Radiohead in general is that Radiohead is one of those bands who became so popular that some of their popularity lost objectivity. Sometimes when you get really popular, a certain aspect of the fandom feel like they own you and that they have expectations that you're supposed to live up to, which is unfortunate because the artist, in my opinion, always should live up to their own expectations or not. Playing to the audience, that's not what I'm looking for. And so this record has nothing to prove, and they're not worried about the bands. They're doing what they need to be doing musically. This is beautiful. I love it. I love it. And as I'll say, you can have the criticizers and people say, well, it doesn't rock, it doesn't do this, doesn't that. Well, we as listeners don't own the band. Should be happy that they want to do anything at all and check it out. And if we don't like it, we don't like it. This is very good. Radiohead is a good band. The criticism I have of this album is the one I have of Radiohead in general, which is due to the way the band started, the drummer they have is the one that they could get, which is Ed O'Brien, and the drumming is just adequate. It's, in my opinion, the weakest link in the chain. It gets the job done, but they don't need a great drummer. I would just love to hear a better drummer with Radiohead. That's my only real criticism, if there is any. That's it. The other thing I want to share, I have some more records to show, but I want to tell you about a release that I have coming that is going to be available soon. Well, it's available now, but I haven't put up a mail order spot for it yet. I think I've shared with you that another band I recently joined is an old band that reunited in Omaha called Scudder. Scudder was a party kind of a party band that was run in the 70s and 80s. Played a lot of covers, a lot of Rolling Stones. They had a couple of EPs out that are collector's items now. Let's Go Steady and Rehab Center. Look them up, you know. We do a new version of Let's Go Steady on here. Jeff Morris, the leader of the band, the guy with the white hair on the end, like a lot of people in rock and roll, had succumbed to drugs and alcohol. Pretty much said it finished him a while ago. But then he got sober. Been sober maybe going on 10 years now. And then got the word through a fellow musician that he was looking to put Scudder back together, but he would only do it if he could have his dream rhythm section, which is Tom Ware on drums and me on bass. And I wasn't interested at first, you know, I really wasn't. And they kept at me, and I said, okay, well, let me come and play. Let me just come and let's play and see what happens. And it went really well, and Jeff was really into it. That's really what made the difference for me, was that, oh, Jeff is still vital. He's 65 years old, but he's still rocking, still cares, still writing. There's a bunch of new songs in here that he wrote. And I'll play a little bit of it for you. I'll have this available, $10 plus postage, through my website shortly. It's not up yet. We have a CD release party coming up next week here in Omaha. Play a little bit of this. Rock and roll. See what I'm saying? Party music. It's a good record. I'm going to turn it down so I can talk a little bit, but it'll be available. You know, if you're interested, leave me a message, and that way I'll get Johnny on it. You know, if there's interest, I'll make sure I get it up on my site today. Before I go, let me show you some records. I had tried to make this video. This is the second attempt, because the first one, I accidentally stopped the video. Played some records recently, and I really appreciate the feedback, folks. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. I'm just doing my thing. This is really who I am. I'm just, a vinyl junkie. And to this day, at 61 years old, records are still my favorite toy. There is an aspect of me that is still the teenager that won't die, okay? Which I'm glad of, okay? Because I still get a lot of enjoyment out of music. Playing it, listening to it, sharing it like this, having these records. You know, there may come up a point when my situation is that I have to sell the records in order to survive, which I hope it doesn't happen, because this is what I've always wanted. All these records. This is my gold. Okay. Pelican. Pink Mammoth is the name of this 10-inch. Bought this when it came out, I think 2007? Something like that. When I saw it in the store, I didn't know the band Pelican at the time. I liked this cover. And I saw that it was on splatter vinyl. I didn't have any at the time. I just liked how the splatter and the design worked together so well. I said, well, I just really want this. I hope I like it. To be honest, when I first got it home, I did not like the Pelican side. One side is the track, and the B side is a remix by Prefuse 73. Now that I liked at first. I've since come around to the band. I've had a couple of VC members send me Pelican albums. I've got 3 Pelican albums now, so I was able to really absorb what they do. I guess it's post-rock, kind of heavy, kind of metally, instrumental. I like it. I like the band. It took me a while to get into them. played that. I'll show a few things, okay? All right. Okay, I'll put that. All right. Someone had shown this on Instagram, and I hadn't played it in a while, so I said, oh, well, what the heck? Let me put this on. Pentangle's Cruel Sister, 1970. British folk rock. Beautiful. Playing on this album. That was primarily the thing I was focusing on, was the guitar and bass interplay. But I did bother to pay attention to the lyrics, you know. A lot of old folk songs are tragic. You know, it's like you have this beautiful lilting music and it's the story of someone chopping somebody's head off, you know, or some kind of shit. And so I paid attention to the lyrics a little bit, you know, and it's like the contrast between the music and what's being sung by Jackie, I forget her, McShee, I think is her name. Interesting. Very good. Cruel Sister, Pentangle. If you've never heard this, I highly recommend it. Played another 10-inch. Count Basie's Dance Parade, Count Basie and his orchestra. This was released in 1949. I happened to find this on a dig up in Minneapolis years ago. It's in excellent condition. And this is party music, you know, it's real happy. It was fun to listen to. Virgin Prunes out of Dublin, I believe. A New Form of Beauty, number 3, out of the 80s. They intrigued me when I first heard about them because there seemed to be something kind of dark and sick about them, and yet beautiful at the same time. And it really is. This record, A New Form of Beauty, it's a 12-inch single. There's aspects of it that seem like it was recorded in a mental asylum. And it just draws you in. It's because, like, what's going on here, you know? And I think that's the best way to respond to the way that I listen to stuff like this, Virgin Prunes, is it's like it's a journey, and I'm still trying to understand what compelled them to make this sound and be in this space. It's a little unsettling. It's a little uncomfortable, okay? This is good. This is good. This is what I'm looking for. Got into a Yukihiro Takahashi jag. I love not J-pop, but the masters of electronic music from Japan, Yellow Magic Orchestra. Been following them for a long time. So I played this solo album by the drummer Yukihiro Takahashi, Tomorrow's Just Another Day. And it is pop music, but it's pop music where it's so beautifully crafted. Songs are well written, just so much care. It's just beautiful, you know. It's just like fine china, you know. This is really high quality, wonderful music. I also played Sarava, the album that I think is his first solo album, named after a record label out of France, Sarava. I've got a couple of records on it. Mixture of disco funk on here, actually, with Japanese pop. Great album, just great music. You know, I wanted to mention, because in my last video, I talked about what I did last night, which is last night, and I want to do that, get that in here. Last night, Chemicals, my band that I rave about, we played as a 3-piece, because the whole band couldn't make it, but we played at the New Generation Music Festival here in Omaha. It was the first of this festival. It was their first time doing it in Omaha. There's another festival that happens in Omaha called the Maha Festival. That's coming up in 2 weeks. I've tried to get on the bill at Maha for years, and I never make it. I was really pleased that New Generation asked for Chemicals. We were one of the bands they asked for. And the turnout was light because it's the first one. They have something to prove, you know, but they held it at the same spot as Maha. Really nice, big stage, big area. I'm really happy with the band Chemicals. We just, you know, band is good. When the footage, there was some video taken of our performance. When I can get my hands on it, I'll share it with you. If you want to hear us, there is a live recording of Chemicals on Bandcamp. I love this band. What I wanted to say that I said in the video that got messed up about what I do with Chemicals and most of the bands I'm in is, most bands, especially around here, probably mostly everywhere, when they play, almost immediately you know what style it is they play. You know what genre to put them in, okay? What I like about what I do, especially with Chemicals, is that you don't know what we're going to do. You don't know which genre to put us in. And I like that. That can make it harder for you to be marketed, but that's not why I play. To this day, I insist on being an idealistic teenager in the head, which is life is real. Music is real. It's not about, for me, it's not about trying to fit into a niche or a round peg in a round hole. To me, it's important to just be what you are and to be original and let the music and the creation speak for itself. That's what we do with Chemicals. I hope I can share a video with you soon here of the band. I really dig what we do a lot. A few more records to show you, okay? Hadn't played in New Order in a long time, so I pulled the 12-inch remixes of Regret. This is just all right. I like the first New Order album the best. Power, Corruption, Lies, and Lies Everyone Goes Gaga Over. I don't even own a copy of it and never bought it. In the band Digital Sex, we covered most of the album live. We played almost all of it live. So I know those songs, but I never felt compelled to buy it. I like the first album, Movement, the best. And this is all right. I keep it. I like the cover graphics, but it was just okay. On the other hand, this was great. Earthless. What is the name of this? Rhythm from a Cosmic Sky. Instrumental jam rock, or just heavy rock with good guitar playing on here. I enjoy this a lot. Earthless. I forget who sent this to me, but this was a VC gift. Suede. Sci-Fi Lullabies. I think this is a bunch of single B-sides and stuff. And I like English rock. Since the Beatles, I've just been, I just love the British way. And so I like the British. There's a aesthetic that I can tell. Still can, when a band is from America, or if they're from Britain, or somewhere else. And I just like the British way. So I like this album. I like Suede. This is cool. So, I'm a big fan of the band Porcupine Tree, which comes out of my love of the band Japan. Richard Barbieri, the keyboardist from Japan, ended up in Porcupine Tree. Besides that, Richard Barbieri and the drummer, Steve Jansen, from Japan, started a duet called the Dolphin Brothers. Catch the Fall is the one album they made in 1987, I believe. I still love this album. 1987. Steve Jansen's voice is very, very much like his brother David Sylvian. So that's a feature on here because I like David Sylvian's voice. But the compositions, the tonalities and textures that Richard Barbieri creates on keyboards, I love it. This is fun. I posted this on my Facebook page the other day while I was listening to it and tagged Richard Barbieri because we're friends now. And he responded. If you follow me, you can go see his response, which was, he feels that the title song is the one that's really held up over the years. That he said this album was definitely an album of its time. I don't think it's dated that much myself. Maybe others will think so, but I just think it's still a gorgeous, wonderful album. Wonderful. When Joe Nazarowski was in town, my last video, we went record hunting, and he didn't find too much. He didn't have, like he explained, he's basically saving his money for the flea market crawl that he's on. But he bought me a couple of $3 records. Thank you, Joe. He didn't have to. So I played this, Jack DeJohnette Special Edition, Irresistible Forces. This is an 80s album that he had made. Interestingly, on this album, there aren't any real big names on it. And Jack plays other instruments as much as drums. And the feature on here is not the drumming, but the compositions and the group interplay. And some of this is just okay, but mostly the compositions are really beautiful. Really beautiful. Jack DeJohnette has got to be one of the greatest jazz drummers of all time, in my opinion. One of the other records that Joe bought for me was Kazumi Watanabe's The Spice of Life 2. Japanese guitar player, son of Sadao Watanabe. Bill Bruford from Yes, King Crimson is the drummer on here. Some songs on here are tailored to try to capture an audience that listens to music in the background, but there's also plenty of music on here to sink your teeth into. Good playing and good writing. This is good. And these are cheap. When you see them, they're going for nothing. This is good music. The third album that he bought for me, thank you. I had never seen this. First Avenue on the ECM label. I love the label ECM. This does not have any big names on it that you'll recognize right away, although some of these people have been on other interesting recordings, like James Knapp, trumpet, I believe, has worked with Anthony Braxton. But this is completely improvised. It's music that was put together for a dance company that improvises. And it's the sort of thing where if you're going to listen to it, you got to just give it time, be patient with it. It's worth it. Once you capture how they're working together, then it pulls you in. This is really quite lovely. First Avenue. Hadn't played this in a long time. Wayne Shorter's Supernova. This is dynamite. Highly recommended. He's got John McLaughlin and Sonny Sharrock on guitars on this album. Whoo! That's all I got to say. Wayne Shorter, you probably know him from his days back with Miles Davis or in Weather Report. But Wayne, who is still alive in his 80s, a mighty musician and composer. Supernova. This is beautiful. So, on the internet, on Facebook, you get these listings that go around. And recently there was a listing going on, band you love to hate. Who do you hate? What band do you hate? What band do you think is overrated? Your favorite band, blah, blah, blah. I resisted playing along with it for a few days, and I finally gave in because I was looking at other people's responses, and they were all interesting. And I thought to myself, well, all we're doing is sharing, and there's no need for this to become a fight, So I put up my list, and if I had to put a band as the band that I hate, the band is obvious. Kiss. The band that I think is overrated, people that know me will know the obvious answer. I think the Rolling Stones are overrated, even though they're the greatest rock and roll band in the world. But you people who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. As a musical band, they're overrated. However, just to bring levity to the thing, because I got well over 100 responses to mine, I'm not exactly sure why people respond to me so strongly, but they do. I appreciate it, actually. But I went ahead and I actually played this because I like it, but the Rolling Stones, their Satanic Majesty's Request. Now, as the Stones albums go, this isn't one of their best, but it's a collector's item. This is an original UK pressing with the lenticular cover, green Decca label. It's not mono, it's stereo. I like 2,000 Light Years from Home off of this, and that's what I played. But then I posted it on Facebook just so that people who may not know me or understand me, I'm not hating on the Stones, and I'm not hating on Kiss either, okay? Ambient electronic album that goes back. K. Lemur, Closed System Potentials. Early 80s, 1980. Palace of Lights, independent release. This is beautiful. And what's nice about it is that he's not following the lead of anyone. He's not sounding like Eno. He's not sounding like Klaus Schultz. He's not sounding like Tangerine Dream. He sounds like K. Lemur. Closed System Potentials. This is very good, very good. Along those lines, I listened to some LaBradford. Eluxo So. I only have this album by them. I have a single. Well, I have another CD. Instrumental. Soundscapes. Ambient. Not always ambient. That cover graphic is perfect for this music. If you don't know LaBradford, look him up. This is good. Big fan of the Canterbury sound, which started with Caravan, Soft Machine, The Wildflowers. Alan Gowan and Phil Miller, Richard Sinclair, all these guys are related. Richard Sinclair was in Caravan. But this is an album that was made by, led by Alan Gowan, who's a keyboardist, had a band called Gilgamesh, associated with Canterbury. He died many years ago, I think, of cancer. But Before a Word is Said is wonderful instrumental, Canterbury-flavored fusion, jazz rock, whatever you want to call it. Excellent, excellent, unique music. There's a reason why it's called the Canterbury School. This is some of my favorite music in the world. Hadn't played this in forever. It just sounded great. Sugar Cubes, Cold Sweat. There are some remixes on this 12-inch, which are just okay, but then you get the original version on here of Birthday. I will never forget when I first heard and saw the Sugar Cubes on TV. It's like, whoa, who is this girl? Bjork. And this sound, wonderful. Really good stuff. It's really held up, in my opinion. Einar, the guy who sang, seemingly kind of a buffoon, but what he was doing still holds up. I get it. Kind of like a toaster, you know. Kind of like not a rapper, but he did his job. This is good. Great cover too, huh? A reissue of a fantastic, what they call acid folk album, also somewhat related to Canterbury. Spirogyra, Old Boot Wine. Barbara Gaskin, who teamed up with Dave Stewart, who was in Egg, Hatfield in the North, National Health, all those bands. This is before, this predates that work, older than that. This is really good. 1972 is when this originally came out. Man, you just need to just look this music up. Original copies of this are very collectible. And when you hear the music, you'll see why. It's like, man, just like the band Trees, the record labels really dropped the ball by not promoting this music more to make sure people heard it, because it's well worth it. A few more here. Again, I think Richard Lee, if you watch, I think you sent this to me. And I appreciate this so much because I've been wanting this album forever. Circle, Paris Concert, Anthony Braxton with Chick Corea, Dave Holland, Barry Altschul. This is an exceptional live recording. They are firing on all fours on this. This crackles with energy and inventiveness. This is just an amazing live recording. I'm serious. And Anthony Braxton is blowing his ass off on this. Love this album. Vandergraaf Generator, God Bluff. Do you know Vandergraaf? Peter Hamill, once again, unique band, truly progressive. No other band sounds like them. While they were making this music, they were poor, but remained true to their vision, never chasing the money, but chasing their muse, and thank goodness for it. This is such an intense album. Arrow, Sleepwalkers, Scorched Earth, good grief. You've got to hear this album. Last but not least, I listened to David Sylvian, Ryuichi Sakamoto, Bamboo Houses, Bamboo Music, 12-inch single. Recently read an article online where the grime electronic movement or genre supposedly owes a big debt to this record. Then they played some records where you could hear, like I said, I don't follow genres, I just know what I like. But then when I went and listened to some of these artists, which I don't remember, and sure enough I heard it. But when I was listening to this stuff, I knew that nothing else sounded like it, and these guys were ahead of the times. Just some of the best music ever made, in my opinion. Okay, folks, I'll stop there. Don't want to wax too much on the world because you all know what's going on. It's just crazy times. The sun is coming out. It's working with my light here, but this is where I sit and do things on my computer. So I just put the camera up and then I make a video. I'm not going through any special preparations to make a video. I just sit down at my desk in my music room and I make a video when I'm going to make it. So we deal with the light. Okay. I just want to really encourage people to, what do I want to say? I just really want to encourage people to just, let the best side of them come to the surface and look for ways to be united with others more than not. We have plenty of reasons. We can think of plenty of reasons to not be together or say, you're like this, I'm not like that. Plenty of reasons that we can give to be divided. I encourage wise ones, and I'm going to put it like this because I think it's wisdom that tells you that we're stronger when we find ways of promoting togetherness and unity rather than trying to knock everybody else down and say mine's the best or we got it right over here. I encourage people to let your wise mind jump into operation and be more a part of the solution rather than being just like a consumer or just kind of a deadhead, not like Grateful Deadhead, but, just slogging through life really kind of aimlessly or just, all you're doing is watching TV and following trends and doing what everyone else is doing. Claim yourself, and share that light, share that wisdom. We need it. We need it.